Is that Mario Kart?
I was thinking 5, 3.
Yeah.
You got hit. Yes.
This is Wayne's World.
Yeah, card.
Oh, that's what you were doing. I was doing the Wayne's World thing where he does the silent countdown.
So this is not Mario Kart. This is the Unlearning Curve, which, it's arguable which one's more fun. And yes, this is the Unlearning Curve podcast where we talk about mental health issues. We talk about deconstruction. We talk about church. We talk about whatever Karl just showed me in his coffee cup. And we do that over the course of, half an hour. We just sit and talk and have fun about just real stuff that's going on in the world and our lives. If you want to reach out to us to say good stuff, bad stuff, any stuff, the Unlearning Curve podcast at gmail.com. is a way to get in touch with us. And so we've had sessions so far. As we do this, we sit down once a month together and crank out 4 different podcast sessions. Our first one, we talked about resilience. Then the second one, we talked about schema. The next one, we're going to be talking about the theology that taught Christians how to be quitters and to leave. But more importantly, we're going to be talking about just that theology didn't just shape our beliefs, it also shaped our nervous systems. So hopping into this, yes, and I am on a kick right now since I do have a book out, The Tribulation Survival Guide, How to Stay Alive When Everything Else is Dead. It is a satire, which many Christians do not think it's satire, so I've gotten into so many fun arguments with folks, not understanding how satire works.
Like a full-time job now, isn't it?
It really is, especially...
The amount of ridiculous replies that I see you get are amazing. I saw your post the other day that was just like, everyone, I'm not having like a mental breakdown. I'm just promoting my book.
Because I think people, because the way I've advertised the book, I've tried to keep it slightly on the edge. Are we really talking about a rapture happening, or are we not? And some people don't know nuance, but that is probably why we're all in the situation we are today with our mental health and traumas, because folks don't know nuance.
Yeah.
But when we think about this, about like end time stuff and rapture culture and all of this, I want to ask, what kind of Christian do you think this system produces?
Which system are you talking about?
Not well adjusted
evangelicals,
ones.
those that they're in love with end times. Because our Catholic friends that I have, I literally have a Catholic nun that has adopted me. She's my sister, and she's like, I like this book. It's funny. I didn't grow up with any of this stuff. We don't even understand end times thing because they read it completely differently.
Right.
So yes, so we're talking about real Christians, the evangelicals, Karl. What kind of?
Okay. Codependency.
Check.
Avoidance of reality. Check. Avoidance of the future. of the present. Putting things off. Those kind of things. I don't know what else.
For me, like I begin to see stuff like I feel like it ends up teaching us things like detachment equals wisdom somehow. Yeah. Like it's somehow like esoteric, like. Oh no! And even like to tease that further, it's kind of like a lot of this culture. They tease education as bad too, because only God has secret knowledge. I feel like they also teach this idea like disengagement equals maturity, which is similar to that one. And I think one that hits me the most is the idea that suffering is part of this. Like suffering equals confirmation. So if the world is suffering or others are suffering, that gives me confirmation. And it's not a call to action. It's not a call to help people. It's just a call to blame it on something.
Just accept it and blame it.
I think to some degree it's kind of like victimhood. Like it's just this like oppression Olympics type shit that you see with like the war on Christmas stuff and all that stuff. It's just like you so badly want to be oppressed, and yet you are the least oppressed people, especially in America. But yeah, I think that's it's one of the most frustrating things that I can see, especially coming from like abroad, where you can see like what a privileged position a lot of those people are in.
Oh my god! Or what actual oppression looks like abroad versus around here. I feel like it's more about I'm inconvenienced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the party I support literally controls all branches of the most powerful government that like has ever been existed in history, and I'm just so oppressed. Like fuck off.
Buddhism says everything's suffering, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of use that too. I think. For most of the extreme religions, most of the fundamentalist religions are like that. We've got to somehow get this message across that we're oppressed, we're suffering the hardest, we're the ones that are suffering. Even though
there's like a confirmation bias kind of dug into that, because like Stuart, you kind of like I can't remember if it was in the first or second session, but you kind of mentioned this like offhanded and like tangentially, but just like the idea, this very Christian idea that like if if people hate us, if people oppose us, then we're right. Like people oppose us. And it's just like, no, people can oppose you because you're wrong or stupid or your like ideas are fucked and like don't have any like logical conclusion. That's also a possibility. But if you never engage with it, of course, you'll never know that. But yeah, I think that's a huge thing in Christianity. It's just like this idea that, especially American Christianity, but it's just like, well, if they oppose us, we must be right. It's like, well, if you say 1 plus 1 equals 3, then like people are going to oppose you. It doesn't mean that you're right. Like opposition doesn't inherently mean you're right. That's an insane logical fallacy.
But I love that. But it's that schema, that look on the face that you'll see, like that smugness, and they'll be like, no, 1 plus 1 is 3. I know.
There's a reason
God told me.
There's a reason JD knows that, because I used to preach that.
Well, I think it comes with that, and because in their minds, I'm smarter than you, and you're gonna fucking die. You're gonna burn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm morally superior because I figured out this one quick hack that all atheists hate or whatever the fuck. Like, but I think it relates also what you were saying with Dad, like with education. That's one of the reasons why there's such an anti-education bit in the United States, is because if you go to school and you learn critical thinking skills, like a lot of that shit you will eschew later in life because you're like, this is bullshit. Like it doesn't hold up to the smallest sliver of scrutiny. It's ridiculous. But again, you see that a lot with like almost like a lot of religions, cults, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be religion, I guess, specifically, but like these kind of groups that try to pull people away and brainwash them, like they don't want you to be educated or to have like any critical thinking skills because it's not convenient for them, right? So I think it makes a lot of sense if you kind of step back and think about it a little bit.
So let me toss this one out to you, Jade. You're mentioning this, JD, and it was like a couple weeks ago, but I remember it was Texas A&M was having pushback for a professor because what he was teaching was something like, it was this letter. It was like, well, you talk about gender ideology and these other things are woke. You cannot teach this again, and also not Plato. So Plato was too woke for them as well, too. Somehow, like I'm going.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, the guy that figured out if you live in a cave. Plato was
too much for you.
Yeah, if you live in a cave, then you'll never know that what's happening outside of the world. Like that's such a radical idea. Like if that's where you're drawing the line, probably have your God's a fucking pussy. Like I don't know what to say to you. Like if your ideology and God cannot stand up to like the minutest level, like Plato levels of scrutiny, literally like let's just talk stuff out, like your ideology sucks. Sorry. Like
did Plato do the allegory of the cave? Kind of like you tied two references together there at the same time, right?
Yeah, he has the cave, right? I think that's right. It's been a long time since I took.
If people don't philosophy. Know, it's where people.
Yeah, we're not talking about Play-Doh. We're talking about Play-Doh.
Yeah, not the fun tactile toy for children.
One tastes better than the other, and I won't tell you which one's which.
I was going to say you have to have Socrates, but I'm sure one of them tastes all right.
I'm going to stop trying to talk.
Sorry.
Tom,
you should sit here when my daughter's here and my wife is here. I don't get to say anything, JD. You need to come back. But allegory of the cave is, in case people don't know, it's where prisoners were chained up and basically faced the wall, and they would see reflections from the sun and people walking by, and the only concept of reality they have were those reflections in the cave. That's all they saw and all they ever experienced. So there's a lot of things you could draw from that. Can I ask a question?
So that's your reality. What you experience and what you understand is your reality, right? Which is kind of the whole thing we're talking about. Sorry. Go ahead.
I learned that word today. Nice.
Yeah. There you go. We're bringing it all together.
So what specifically does it do to our nervous system? Can you dig down deeper, Stuart, since this is your topic? But
yeah, I think one.
The theology says I'm right and God is on our side, and this is what.
Yeah, to our nervous system, I think that what it can begin to happen is things don't have permanence. Things don't have lasting value. I think that the idea of your mind and you investing in things deeper, whether it even simply just be cultivating the earth or even cultivating deeper relationships with people that don't think about you, which like what we've been talking about too. I think it gives you a constant exit sign in your brain to relationships with people. And when you do that, I think it also helps what we've also talked about. It facilitates the situation where they begin to see everyone as the other. And then it allows them to be able to kind of, again, exit responsibility. Things like justice doesn't matter anymore, like in the world. And so they can justify this and stay safe and whole. But their whole mindset and their whole worldview is so fragile that if you barely poke at it, you'll see them just spaz out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that fully answered your question.
Yeah. Are you saying that they're using, their limited worldview as a scapegoat? I mean, that's their answer. That's what they're invested in. And so then it's the bypassing again, right? Of everything that doesn't make sense.
Or it's blinders. Yeah. You were eliminating vast parts of like perspective, logic, the world around you. I mean, it just teaches you to simply look very, very narrow. It's almost like it teaches them to look at the world through like a telescope, but turned around backwards. Have you ever, when you look at it and it's just really tiny and small?
Yeah.
I feel like it's more like that. I feel like, and what does that do to your nervous system? I think it skews everything within this. I mean, if people don't have value, then you really don't have value either. Like your body doesn't fully have value because, well, if I die, I know where I'm going. And worth
Christians are
becomes an
constantly
issue.
taught that you're a sinner, a piece of shit. Like you do deserve to be like you are. Literally, you are filthy minstrel rags. Like that's what you basically are. Like so, yeah. I think that
you only have
that's
value
a big
when you only have value when you're criticizing them or trying to convert them, right? So to see things in a limited way
it's not
that you
even
do.
your value. The only value that you have is from the religion, and we gatekeep that. So
absolutely.
I think,
and I feel like oftentimes it emphasizes certain like natural, like oftentimes family systems. I'm going to say this. A lot of times evangelical family systems are dysfunctional and messed up because of what we're talking about.
What?
And then,
Stuart?
And then you
What?
perpetuate this. Yeah, it's a really shitty printing press that they keep doing here and copying and repeating with this. But again, I feel like it continues to narrow people's worldviews. If you think of this like generationally, how much more stupid are a lot of these folks getting because they've been taught to do that. Don't read books. Don't use your mind. Don't trust your gut. Don't trust what you've learned collectively in life. No, trust the sky god that tells us random things. I mean,
that doesn't make sense though, Stuart, because when you copy a photocopy again and again, the image gets more crystal clear. So that's weird that it would work like that. But yeah, I guess it's like the copy of a copy.
I like yours. You're right. It's a Xerox of a Xerox of a Xerox. Yeah, we keep going. Yeah.
JD knows about the character system and the Mandarin characters. There's two systems of characters. This is what I learned when I went to Taiwan.
There's funny ones and serious ones.
There's simplified and traditional.
Characters.
And
that's true.
Mainland China uses simplified for a reason.
You can just say China. It's okay. You don't have to say mainland.
Huh? Okay.
You don't have to say mainland. You can just say China. It's okay.
All right. China uses simplified. That is what politics. I understand. Especially for the normal people, because so it's easier to control people when it's a simple version. And then Taiwan uses the traditional, which are more complicated characters. And I think there's more of them, right? But anyway.
There's a million different writing systems. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever's true about that. But it's kind of an example that if you want to control, then you have to keep things simple. We don't put all of the Gospels into the Bible so that people can read and decide. We put just the ones that reflect what we want to do as we're trying to control the church and unite it with the empire through Constantine. We need it simple, just these four Gospels that we agree with for the most part, or maybe we edited them a little bit and so on. We got to keep it simple, keep it. When we were in multi-level marketing, they said, keep it repeatable, right? So keep it simple. Follow the system, follow the plan, stay on track, and you'll be fine. It'll work for you. You'll make lots of money, and we never did. But probably because I questioned too many things.
Well, and they don't give you enough. They don't give you enough to learn on your own, to make things on your own, to do things on your own. They need you coming back constantly. So we're not going to teach people to go and be healthy in the church or in multi-level marketing. Same thing.
No, you need people that are dependent.
Yep.
Codependent.
Yeah.
So it's a system that wants to keep people damaged where they're at. They don't want people to be healthy, because if they were healthy, they would fucking grow up and leave and say, this is all bullshit. Bye. I'm leaving this place.
Well, and you realize that the value, like the things that you were talking about, Dad, like getting like worship music, making you feel good and things like that. You realize you can get it from other places, or you don't. Maybe you just don't need it because you're not a fucking broken person. Once you get outside of that and like start to repair some of the stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's just the classic signs of like literally everything that is like a cult or like a weird cut off society. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's the reason they do it, because look at the small amount of information that like the like very dedicated Christian in America has, and look at how even the small differences in denominations fight with each other all the time. Stuart, to your point, like
Mm-hmm.
if you are educated, if you read your Bible, if you're anyway like understanding, you're going to have these debates and like discussions. Whereas like again, of course, the churches, the institutions don't want you to be having those, because
Mm-hmm.
unless it's just against the others, unless it's just saying Catholics are shitty or like whatever other one, like if it's us versus them, maybe, but like other than that, like we don't want people having conversations, because that's how people learn. And if they learn something, they might realize that this is a fucking facade that we've built around them.
And you made me, JD. You had a fantastic point. That's not totally on topic, but I am pulling it in this. I like music. Music. Okay, us people that have grown up around Christianity, they would say secular music is evil.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
listen to Christian music, right? The main reason for that is, and I think we didn't realize this until later, most of Christian music sucks. It's not that
No.
good. Like,
It's
if
not
you actually
good,
want to listen
no.
to decent music for people that know what they're doing, listen to other music. But at the same time, but that's how they keep us in here. We don't have to be better musicians. We don't have to do better music. We can keep doing our same shitty music, but we'll tell everyone else not to invest in these other schemes outside of it. All these other folks, no. We want to keep it dumb. We want to keep you dumb.
And also,
we want your money to stay in here too.
Money. We keep our nice little like segregated
Mhm.
economy that constantly rolls back on itself. Like the Christian economy is wild. Like there's so much money that just rolls, like especially in America, obviously, but like it just rolls over and over again. It's just people buying the same asshole's book over and over again, and never questioning anything, and never really growing from it, because it's just the same recycled bullshit over and over.
Because it's been fun. Like my book's been out for a week, and watching it in the eschatology charts, it was the weirdest thought I had in my head. I was like, I'm surrounded by people that I'm actively making fun of. Like I am kind of. My whole point is tearing down this entire idea of eschatology, and I'm surrounded by it. But you see the grifters. You see like how many books does David Jeremiah have? How many books? They just keep making money off of this stuff again and again. Conferences, and none of this has. The funny thing is, this is supplemental to normal church, but they want to keep you in that economy, that system, to where like you don't need to go to an amusement park. Go to the Creation Museum and look at a huge fucking ark that we made. Then go to this conference and then go to this music thing. And yeah, it's an insulated economy that they want to keep all of your money inside of that. It was a great point, JD. I like that. That was a long way of saying that.
In my
It works too, though, and I think that kind of like, hey, we're going to like create our own economies, like you go back to Black Wall Street and things like that. Like that can be a useful tool if we want to like get outside of these kind of systems. But obviously, it's also useful for the systems that want to keep us inside them. Sorry, Dad, I cut you off.
That's okay. I was just responding to a point from about 3 points ago, probably. But in our first church, we started small groups, and one small group started, and they started studying Revelations and Daniel and so on. And as far as I know, that group still exists, and it's still studying the end times. That's not much of an exaggeration at all.
I'm going to guess it is, yes.
10 years later, I mean, that's 20, 25 years ago, so there you go.
And all of this stuff, this is even if we talk about, we can make fun of how like evangelicals just read normal stuff in the Bible, but all of this stuff, this end times bullshit, this was just conjured out of thin air by John Nelson Darby in the 1800s. And then he conjures this whole idea. Guess what? He has no theological background. None. He's a lawyer.
Kid?
He was a lawyer. What?
You get it from a girl or a kid or something?
I don't even know. I'm not even sure of it, but I know he had this idea, and he's known for being a dick. Like he has this idea, and then he goes to different congregations, and he eventually gets kicked out all the time. But eventually these ideas grow, and then Scofield of the Scofield Bible eventually picks up on it, and it becomes part of a study Bible that we have. And then it becomes a footnote in Bibles. And then we're just perpetuating this lie. It's like the worst version of telephone ever.
My first Bible was Scofield. Yeah.
And it's amazing, the trolls I've dealt with, how people live and breathe and die on this information. Yeah. Because again, if they're not leaving the earth, and then they look at themselves in the mirror, it's like, am I just an asshole? If all of that facade boils down, what are they left with?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
don't ask that question enough. by
Yeah,
the way.
they were given permission to be
Yeah.
terrible, and that's what the Bible gave them, permission to be terrible.
Yeah, because we're right and God is on our side.
Mhm.
And my pastor told me, and he knows he's God's man, et cetera, et cetera.
How many pastors have we seen these past couple weeks with all the violence that's going on in Minneapolis? Have you seen like pastors that are just defending this kind of stuff? Defending ICE, defending the violence, defending the deaths, defending all of this stuff. And you're like, in what capacity do people be getting murdered? How does this even, but they have been given permission to act this way.
Yeah, and it's because that's their whole game. It's just like that's whose side they're on, is the people who are there to like fucking make sure that you do not have any choice in your life, especially if you're like, you know, ethnic racial minorities, or if you're a woman, for instance. Like the idea is, well, yeah, we are kind of here to step on your rights, and we like that. But yeah, I think I don't know. I will say I have seen a few. There have been a few, like, and it was like kind of off topic, but what you were just talking about. There have been a few like religious leaders that have stepped out. But again, I think it all goes back to like the topic at hand, is like it makes people feel good. It's nice when you don't have to actually grapple with any of these issues or like read into them or like do translation and stuff like that. I think it's comforting, right? It's something you don't have to think about. And if you can always feel like you're right, because my, ordained pastor tells me that I'm right, and I just repeat what he says, it makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I think for a lot of people, it's no different than that. I mean, I tell my, we talk about, like, obviously think about history and stuff like this, and I'll try not to go on too long, but like, people always think about like, I would do this, or I would be like, I want to like do this like big amazing but the reality is, like, you think about any major war that happened in the world, or any conflict in a society, major protest movements, whatever, it's always like 5% of the nation or the population that is involved in it anyway. Like, most people never, because people want to live, and myself included, just want to live peaceful lives. But the most men lead lives of quiet desperation. But that's kind of what people want. They just want a quiet family life or whatever it is. And it's kind of a way to give it to them. It's just, hey, if you just shut the fuck up, come to church every Sunday, everything is fine. Doesn't matter what you mess up. It's always going to be fine, because you'll go to heaven. And so you can always just have that like reassurance. I think that for a lot of people, and I don't think that's like even a thing that we can begrudge most people, because like life is fucked. And especially like, we're all Americans. Like, I have to say, going to numerous countries, and I haven't even been to like real like dangerous places, but like even going to places that are, developing countries, like, people live fucking rough, man. Like, that's giving someone the hope of like, hey, this life is probably shit, but like the next one will be good, or like you'll be okay after this. Like, it's powerful. And it's not just Christianity. Like, I've been to India. Like, the Hinduism is a huge part of that, like, too, as well. Like, it's just. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling, but like I think it makes sense. But again, we have to move past that point. We can't just be. But that's an issue of like, how do we?
So are we essentially just teaching people not to live now? I mean, that's kind of what you're almost saying, JD. Like, if we're teaching people that everything, it sucks now, but later matters.
Yeah.
They've deferred life.
Yeah, and we'll hire somebody to shoot the queer ladies in the head, in the face, even,
fuck ice.
And just that kind of stuff. We'll hire some rednecks to do that because they've dreamed about doing that anyhow. So
again, permission. The government gave them permission to do it. They feel justified in being able to do awful stuff. And since either the government tells them they're okay with it, or the church tells them they're okay with it, they can sleep at night. And they don't ever have to actually have
both now, because the government is co-opted by, like, even though it makes no sense, because Trump is like, didn't Trump just say like a week or two ago that he was going to hell? Like, he was
worried about it. Yeah.
He's well, yeah. Fortunately for him, I don't think such a place exists. But like, if one did, he would definitely be bound for it. But yeah, I think that's what it is for a lot of people, and for the elites, it's obviously like it's a refuge, because you always get to be I'm Paul, I was Saul, now I'm Paul, or whatever. Like I've made the miraculous turnaround because we can all snap our fingers and become like radically different people. It's like, well, that's a nice thing to think about. And like, yeah, that happens in movies, but it's not real. Like you can't just become a different person just because you.
Wait, you're saying Russell Brand is not a new Christian? We don't trust in his conversion?
Yeah. I'm also saying Milo Yiannopoulos is also still a fucking gay guy. Like, yeah, like, all that stuff is, it's all a grift. Like,
but he told us he's not gay anymore. What? He told us.
Kirk Cameron might be deconstructing too. So that's good.
Well,
he ran back real quick. He ran the comments back really quick. But yeah. Just commit, Kirk. Just commit.
So if theology and religion hurts our nervous system, what do we do about it? Stuart, this is your topic.
Say no to theology. Say no to religion.
How do we?
No, I think it's being aware of what it is. You know, I mean, you can also say that like hitting myself in the head with a hammer is bad for my mental health. But a hammer's a tool. Like religion it's a thing. And I think it's just we have to realize that we need to learn to trust ourselves and, trust our gut and be able just to see these things for what they are. And the authority that has been given to them is fake. And we have to see that. Even with the government, Trump's president, he can do all of the stuff that gives him the righteous mandate to do it. It's just made up. It's a social contract. It's fake. He's just a guy doing shitty things. Same thing, with the church and stuff. I mean, I think the biggest thing is just for us to learn just to be humans and just to be decent humans with each other, not looking for escape plans, not looking for all this other BS that mucks it up and distracts us, but just trying to, because I think, loving your neighbor as yourself, if we go back to that, as yourself is a big issue, And if you're not loving yourself well, if you don't even know how to love yourself, it's going to be hard for you to love your neighbor. And, and Christianity has taught us how to act like we look like we're loving. It's shown us how to parrot and to almost just be mimes of doing the right things. But it's all hollow, You didn't save anyone when you went on the missions trip in youth group. You didn't do anything good. You didn't change the world. I'm sorry. You went on vacation. And that's okay.
I would say it's more than that. Like at best, it was vacation, but in a lot of cases you may have harmed people. Like but again, that's something that like the whole system itself is trying to push people past. It's like never engage with people to that level. The fucking whole thing. I'm sure both of you have seen this, but like the whole idea of like it's so much easier for someone to drag you down than like pull you up or whatever. Like where they have like someone lay down on stage and pull someone down versus trying to pull them up. And it's like, well, there's some gravity involved in that, like body weight and stuff. But anyway, like it's you can say that, but again, it comes back to community. And it comes back to communication. Like if you don't have those two things, and if you generally do have those things, then we can engage in like the debates and all those things. But like if you don't have those things, and if you're taught, if you ever run up against things that make you feel uncomfortable or that are making you question or whatever, you immediately abort the situation, or you just like tell them, I can't do this or whatever. Like you kind of like run away, which is what a lot of like, at least from my experience, a lot of Christians do when they experience like some sort of like pushback. So they just go to their platitudes and they kind of run away. Then you're not going to get anything from that. Like no one's going to be better. Like you're not helping the other person, and you're also worse for wear for that. So
all right, run with my nihilistic logic as we're ending this. Okay, so if we were going to be honest with folks, I think first thing that we could be able to say is, and the church points us away from reality. So the reality is you're not special. None of us are. I mean, we're just beings that live on a planet that is infinitely like out in the cosmos. We're just small. We are insignificant. It doesn't mean we're pieces of shit, but it just means we're small. We need to know where our place is in the world. Life is going to be shitty and hard. And within all of that, in my mind, you need to learn to find your own meaning. You need to be able to find like healing and meaning in your own life, and do not let other people tell you what meaning is. Yeah. Because I feel like we've been running around being told we need to suck God's metaphorical dick in order for him to tell us we're special and happy and get into heaven. And it's not that. JD, you said we need to find community because we're on a planet and we feel very alone and a lot of stuff's hard. But I think find community, find people around you, invest in those things, find your meaning in something that is lasting and helpful and good. But I think all the rest of this is they're cheap. It's a cheap. Finding meaning is hard. Having someone tell you what the whole world is about and tell you what is the real meaning of stuff, it's easy. And then you invest in someone else's idea of it. And I think you're never going to find anything real unless you step outside of these systems. I don't know. That's a rant. It's a nihilistic ramble rant. But
what's very real for me is the mantra that I inherited of you got to change the world instead of change your neighborhood or change your family or whatever.
Change yourself.
Change yourself. There you go, JD. Bring it home.
What can you actually control?
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, it's small, like you said, Stuart. It's small, but it's
not insignificant. Yeah, I think everyone just wants it to be. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone wants to change the
big
world,
dramatic movie versions of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You want to change the world, but you don't want to do what actually changes the world, which is change yourself and then change the people around you, which is how you build the further movements if you actually want to get to that level. But it doesn't start with...
You don't want to change the world. You want to be known that you changed the world.
Yeah.
And that's
right.
very, very different. Yeah.
And you don't want to put in the work.